Prince Harry has such a cheek that he is now piling the pressure on Catherine, the Princess of Wales, to step in and try and save his failing relationship with Prince William. Not understanding that it's over, brother. It is gone. Finito. Just accept it.
Catherine was reportedly the last person still leaving the door slightly open for Harry. Now, insiders claim the door is firmly closed, and the situation has left William deeply frustrated. Some reports suggest the gap between the brothers has become so large that direct communication is now extremely rare. According to Dan Wakeford, who says he spoke with sources connected to both sides, Catherine was the final senior royal, still hoping Harry and William could one day repair their relationship.
They've choked off any information Harry and Meghan had, which is all the currency they had to sell. They have no more royal news to sell, and they're slowly going down the tubes. They've lost everything.
She was reportedly the last person keeping that possibility alive. William had already drawn firm boundaries, while Charles was said to be taking a step back. But Catherine, believing family bonds matter, allegedly continued holding onto a small hope for reconciliation. Then came what sources describe as her breaking point. After facing her own health challenges and recovery, Harry's public remarks about Charles's cancer reportedly pushed things too far for her. Insiders claim that was the moment she decided was enough. Sources say Catherine eventually threw up her hands and told Harry, "This is on you, Harry." The family member, often seen as the most patient and understanding, had reportedly reached her limit. The woman said to have worked hardest to encourage peace between the brothers, allegedly looked at the ongoing drama and decided, "I can't do this anymore." What has sparked even more buzz is the claim that Harry has been trying to reach William through indirect channels. Reports suggest conversations have moved through mutual friends, contacts, and media discussions, with some believing Catherine may be the only person who can still get through to William. Dan Wakeford's report claims Catherine is the one person who can consistently reach William, but whether she wants that role now is unclear.
Nobody wanted Harry there either, because Harry has completely blotted his copy with that family and the group of family friends, because nobody can trust Harry anymore.
As Paula Froelich noted, critics say this mirrors a strategy previously linked to Harry during discussions involving Charles, where reports suggested certain conditions were connected to a possible Sandringham visit, including Meghan and the children attending, security concerns, and agreements about who would be present. Critics argue there always seems to be another request or another set of expectations presented as a step toward moving things forward. They point to the fact that Harry publicly discussed Catherine in his book, while past interviews and royal disagreements involving Meghan and others added more pressure to an already strained situation. Now, according to these critics, Harry hopes Catherine can help repair a relationship that has become deeply fractured. The distance between the brothers is said to be massive. Reports claim Harry no longer has William's direct phone number, and some insiders suggest that even if contact were attempted, an actual conversation would be far from certain. Whether those claims are completely accurate or not, they highlight how serious the reported breakdown has become.
Big revelation from him is that Prince Harry doesn't even have William's phone.
Sister-in-law.
He exploded because obviously his plan, and again, this was the difficult bit, he couldn't understand why he was evicted from that particular place.
One palace source reportedly said William was especially upset by Spare, particularly the sections involving Catherine. According to those accounts, William has always been highly protective of her and found those references especially difficult to accept. Some royal observers believe the comments about Catherine caused longer-lasting damage than many of the book's other headline-making revelations. As a result, they view this as one of the most sensitive issues in the wider family dispute. According to some royal commentators, William believes years of family tensions, media scrutiny, and public disagreements placed significant pressure on Catherine during an already challenging period. While there is no public evidence directly connecting stress to her health condition, people close to the discussion claim William sees the situation as having carried a major emotional impact on his wife. Critics also point to past public statements made by Harry and Meghan regarding the royal family. They note that Harry later said, "We didn't call them racist." The British press said that, which sparked fresh debate because earlier interviews remain widely discussed and interpreted in different ways. From that perspective, supporters ask why William would want to revisit old conflicts or risk bringing more tension into family life. Sources also suggest Catherine's main focus today is protecting her family and maintaining stability for her children. For many observers, this goes far beyond disagreements between adults.
Number anymore. That is, of course, a mortifying revelation for the Duke of Delusion.
They see it as a matter of privacy, trust, and the future family relationships involving George, Charlotte, and Louis. The disagreements surrounding the 2018 wedding remain one of the most talked about parts of the royal fallout. Over the years, conflicting accounts have emerged about discussions involving Charlotte and the bridesmaid dress fitting. Meghan later said in her Oprah interview that she was the one left upset, while other reports described a different version of events, keeping the controversy alive for years. Critics have also pointed to various media projects and public comments that they believe reflected ongoing tensions within the family. Another major source of friction comes from claims and counterclaims that have circulated around the royal family for years. Critics of Harry and Meghan often reference allegations discussed in Omid Scobie's book and the wider debate that followed. Among the most sensitive issues were public claims and speculation regarding conversations about Archie before his birth. Those allegations remain heavily disputed and continue to generate discussion today. Observers also note that Spare included Harry's account of the Nazi costume controversy. Some readers argue that references involving Catherine only added to existing family tensions and made an already difficult situation even more complicated. For William's supporters, these public disclosures are viewed as deeply damaging and hard to forget. The situation became even more intense during Catherine's cancer treatment, when social media was flooded with rumors, speculation, and unverified theories about her health.
Expert Dan Wakeford says, Harry wants a reconciliation. He regrets the things he said in the book, the documentary, and doing that again is off the table. Yeah, right. What's heartbreaking is he kind of hoped that William would stumble a little and reach out and need him. I don't know if I believe this. He's got no avenue to communicate with him. However, the expert claimed it cannot happen as Harry reportedly no longer even has William's phone number.
Many commentators criticized those online campaigns and questioned whether enough was done by influential voices to discourage misinformation. The backlash added even more frustration for people who already believed the family divide had reached a troubling level. As for the idea of reconciliation, some commentators remain highly skeptical. Paula Froelich argued that Catherine has little reason to place herself in the middle of the dispute again, especially after years of public conflict, strained relationships, and growing mistrust. In her view, any future family gathering could easily reopen old disagreements instead of bringing the two sides closer together. It will happen again. Catherine knows it. That reflects the opinion of some royal commentators who believe trust between the camps has been seriously damaged. They argue that William and Catherine are not simply creating distance. Instead, they are focused on protecting their family's privacy and avoiding situations where personal interactions could quickly become public stories. From that perspective, every gathering carries risks, and every private moment could face intense public attention. Those who believe the divide is deeper than ever often point to reports surrounding Peter Philip's wedding. According to several commentators, Harry was not present at the event, which immediately triggered fresh speculation about family relationships. The discussion grew when reports surfaced claiming Harry had concerns about media coverage and photographers at the wedding. Critics pushed back on those claims, arguing that the bigger question was whether an invitation had been offered in the first place. Adding another layer to the story, Lady Colin Campbell later claimed that sources connected to the event told her Harry and Meghan were not discussed during the celebrations at all. For many royal watchers, that detail stood out as a possible sign of just how distant the relationship may have become.
It's the same thing he did with King Charles a couple months ago when he let it be known through a source, wink, friend, wink, that, he would be happy to accept an invitation to Sandringham. But of course, he would only go if his wife and kids were there and that.
Oh, yeah. And if there's full security paid for by people like me.
And if he knew who else was going to be there. So it's the same kind of BS that's happening right now.
According to Lady Colin Campbell, some guests allegedly used unflattering nicknames when discussing Harry and Meghan, a claim that generated significant attention among royal followers. Whether fair or not, supporters of the royal family argue that the couple's relationships with several relatives have become increasingly strained over time. William and Catherine attended the celebration, and reports described the atmosphere as positive and centered on the bride and groom. Some commentators believe that was exactly the message being sent. They argue that weddings are meant to focus on the couple getting married, and any appearance by high-profile figures involved in ongoing public controversies could quickly pull attention away from the celebration itself. Critics of Harry often claim that trust has become a major issue within royal circles. They point to interviews, documentaries, and Harry's memoir as reasons some family members may be cautious about private conversations later becoming public topics. Whether that view is justified or not, it remains a common talking point among royal observers. Many also noted that several members of the extended royal family attended the event. Commentators viewed that as a sign of where certain relationships currently stand. Meanwhile, Harry's reported explanation that he chose not to attend was met with skepticism by some critics, who argued the situation may have been more complicated than it appeared. So why do some commentators believe there has been such a strong push for reconciliation? In their view, the answer may involve public image, future opportunities, and long-term stability. Critics frequently point to reports involving business ventures, media partnerships, and shifting revenue streams as reasons Harry and Meghan could have an interest in improving relations with the royal family.
He's really the only one who wore the Nazi uniform and made those comments about his fellow soldiers, calling them packy heads and all the stuff that he did. He's actually the only racist in the family. And even that he hasn't taken responsibility for. He blamed that on William and Catherine.
Over the last few years, several major projects have changed direction, ended, or evolved, leading to constant speculation about what comes next. Commentators have debated everything from media deals and speaking engagements to product launches and business partnerships. Supporters argue the couple are simply building an independent path, while critics claim the outcomes have not always matched expectations. Either way, their finances and business strategy remain a major topic of public discussion. Others believe the issue extends beyond money alone. They argue Harry may also be thinking about his long-term place within the broader royal story as the monarchy continues to change. With William expected to take on an even larger role in the institution's future, some observers see that relationship as one of the biggest factors in any potential reconciliation. For those watching closely, the William-Harry divide remains at the center of nearly every discussion about what happens next. That is why critics often describe this as more than just a family dispute. In their view, it is also about influence, legacy, and a connection to an institution Harry has both publicly criticized and remained tied to throughout his life. That contrast continues to spark debate and keep royal watchers talking. Critics argue that if circumstances were different and Harry's public standing were stronger, the conversation about reconciliation might look very different. They believe Catherine's reported decision to step back was not driven by frustration alone, but by a feeling that too much trust had already been lost. Whether that assessment is fair remains open to debate, but it is a recurring theme among royal commentators. They also point to a series of public appearances that generated unwanted headlines. Critics highlighted events where crowd sizes became a talking point, awkward photo moments attracted attention, or appearances failed to create the impact some supporters expected. Those moments have been used by opponents as evidence that Harry and Meghan's influence may not be as strong as it once appeared. At the same time, speculation about the couple's personal and professional future continues to circulate. Public appearances, separate engagements, and changing business projects have all fueled rumors, even though many of those claims remain unconfirmed. Meanwhile, the wider royal family drama shows little sign of disappearing anytime soon.
William just basically, I've been told, just feels that Charles is just making the same mistake all over again with Harry. And he feels that Harry's betrayal, particularly, this allegation that Catherine asked bigoted questions about a child's skin color, particularly this allegation that Catherine asked bigoted questions about, a child's potential skin color that came out in the Omid Scobie book that was then pulped. He thinks it's unforgivable.
Tom Sykes reported that William is said to have concerns about how certain family matters are being handled, with some observers drawing comparisons to earlier royal controversies. According to those reports, disagreements behind palace walls may now be nearly as significant as the public disputes themselves. Several royal commentators also argue that William views the controversy surrounding allegations involving Catherine as one of the most serious chapters in the ongoing family conflict. They believe the issue caused lasting damage and that his position on the matter is unlikely to shift anytime soon. Sources have described William as someone who makes up his own mind and is rarely influenced by outside pressure. As one account put it, he marches to the beat of his own drum. Another source claimed, nobody can persuade him to do something he doesn't want to do. Because of that, many observers believe a reconciliation with Harry remains unlikely in the near future. Reports have also suggested that Charles is not expected to meet Harry during any potential UK visit this summer. Paula Froelich has echoed that view, adding to speculation that hopes for a major family reunion may be misplaced. Meanwhile, Harry's connection to events such as Invictus continues to keep him linked to the UK. But commentators question whether those visits will lead to any meaningful progress behind the scenes. Instead, they argue the more probable approach is quiet distance, limited public association, and allowing the separation to speak for itself. According to these observers, that message has been clear for quite some time. Critics argue Harry was warned there could be consequences if private family matters became public. Yet they claim he continued crossing lines that other family members considered important. Those commentators believe the result has been a near-complete breakdown in trust and communication. In their view, the situation is no longer a temporary setback, but a deep divide that has expanded over several years. Supporters of William and Catherine often point to this as evidence that Catherine was right to step back from efforts to repair the relationship. They argue that repeated public disputes, interviews, documentaries, and revelations in memoirs made reconciliation increasingly difficult. Critics also raise questions about Meghan's public messages regarding family, compassion, and forgiveness. They point to her estrangement from her father, Thomas Markle, which has remained a topic of public discussion for years. Recent reports about his health have renewed attention on that relationship.
Why would you ever want Harry around when he's going to insist on bringing his wife, who once made you cry, then lied about it to Oprah, and always seems to have varying recollections? Not to mention, you really don't want his wife around who would sell clothing to the effect of what to wear to meet your
with commentators continuing to debate whether reconciliation will ever happen. Another controversy involved claims that Meghan sent products from her lifestyle brand to public figures and online personalities. Critics argued that some recipients had previously made negative comments about Catherine, while supporters pushed back, saying those conclusions were speculative and not supported by clear evidence. As with many parts of the royal dispute, the facts and motivations remain heavily debated. For critics of Harry and Meghan, stories like these raise questions about trust, loyalty, and family relationships. Supporters, however, argue that the couple have faced years of intense scrutiny and that many accusations remain matters of opinion rather than proven fact. That sharp divide in public opinion continues to drive the royal debate. What makes the situation even more remarkable is how different things looked just a few years ago. Back then, there were reports of private conversations, hopes for reconciliation, and family members quietly encouraging both brothers to find common ground. Now, the conversation has shifted from when they might reconcile to whether reconciliation is even possible. Commentators continue to paint a picture of two very different paths. William is focused on the future of the monarchy, his family, and his royal duties, while Harry is building a life thousands of miles away in California. The distance is no longer just physical. It has become personal, emotional, and increasingly public. And with every new report, interview, and headline, the divide appears to grow even wider. So, has the relationship reached a point where neither side sees a reason to turn back? That remains the question royal watchers keep asking. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more royal news and updates.